And then tip number 3, really, this is really, really important, and it's to start small. And when I say small, I mean often really small. It's, first of all, you choose one thing. So you may have a list of 10 things, you may have a list of 3, but just pick the one, again, the one that is most pressing, that you really feel in your gut. And then you have to choose a routine that's incredibly easy to start. You want this to be fail-proof. What can I do that I can't fail? I mean, I'd have to be absolutely crazy not to make this work. So how can I make this new behavior so easy to do that I can't say no? And I use the example of committing to flossing one tooth. This was true for someone. He had gone to the dentist every 6 months. He kept saying, you really got to start flossing your teeth. You really, and he got kind of tired. He was like, I know I need to do this. It's just like, what can I do? So he brushes his teeth. Hopefully all of us do. And so he just got into the habit of just pulling off a piece of floss and sticking it right on the toothpaste. So it's right there. And so his thought was, okay, I'm only going to floss one tooth. I only have to floss one tooth. So of course, once he started, he flossed more than one tooth. But that's the point. It's like there's this silly, almost silly sense of accomplishment of flossing one tooth. Something else that someone else did was they wanted to start walking every morning. They had a dog that they were just letting out, like, this is silly. 10 minutes, I can take my dog out for 10 minutes in the morning. Her number one thing was to actually, at the door by the dog's cage, she put her walking shoes. So that simple reminder, she got into the habit of doing that. And once she mastered putting the shoes there, she mastered putting them on, and then mastered going out the door. And it started really just a very quick walk around her yard. And then it became a 5-minute walk. Then it became a 10-minute walk. So again, it's make something very, very tiny, master that, so you've made that a habit, and then you choose another. So in that case, she extended, she knew she wanted to walk more than around the yard. She knew she wanted, so it became a 10-minute walk. So instead of just getting out the door, it became a 10-minute walk. And now she does that 3 times a day. She works from home, so she goes out in the morning for 10 minutes with the dog. It's 10 minutes at lunch and 10 minutes after work. And she's added up now to 30 minutes a day of good exercise.
Yeah.
Great for her and the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So question on this. So would you advise to or not to have somebody else help you be accountable?
Absolutely. And that's where you can have accountability buddy, a friend. This actually was a great story. I heard there was a man I did some work with, and he wanted to run every morning. He had gotten to this great place where he was running with this guy, and they were doing this at 5:30 in the morning. So it's 5:30 in the morning, and there is a snowstorm that's happening. And he thought,
I'm going back to bed.
I want to go back to bed. But he didn't want to phone this other guy at 5:30 in the morning because he knew he had a 2-year-old and a newborn at home. And he knew that by calling, he was going to disturb that family. So he put on his clothes, and he had some kind of slicker. He put on his shoe, and he met the guy at the corner because he was accountable and he didn't want to let his buddy down. And that's something else that coaches can help do for you too, and even help you set up an accountability buddy for things like that.
Yeah. And even the dog in the story, the dog will remind you, at least ours will.
Yes.
And I feel terribly guilty if I'm not doing what I should for the dog. So
dogs can be great for exercise.
Yeah, they really can.